This episode of the BIC Magazine Weekly Industry Report is brought to you by Draeger Rental and Safety Services, your trusted source for industrial safety services and technology. We'll share more about Draeger later in the episode. Welcome to the BIC Magazine Weekly Industry Report, your go-to source for the latest updates in the energy sector. I'm Samantha, your AI podcast host, and today is January 10th, 2025. In today's episode, Constellation secures $1 billion for nuclear energy procurement. NASA, the DOE, and Westinghouse collaborate on a space microreactor concept, and other top news from the energy sector this week. But before we get started, we ask that if you enjoy our podcast, please like, comment, and share it with your colleagues. Your support helps us grow and allows us to bring you even more exciting updates from the energy sector in the future. With that being said, let's jump into the first story. Constellation has landed over $1 billion in GSA contracts, marking a major win for clean energy. The deal includes a 10-year, $840 million agreement to supply over 1 million megawatt-hours of power annually to 13 federal agencies starting in 2025, with a focus on nuclear energy. CEO Joe Dominguez called it a game-changer for sustainable energy procurement. In a separate $172 million contract, Constellation will upgrade energy systems in 5 facilities, including transitioning DC buildings to electric heating. Construction begins this month, advancing federal clean energy goals. Next up, President Biden announced a ban on new oil and gas development across 625 million acres of U.S. waters, amounting to an area the size of Alaska and Texas combined. This ban includes areas off the east and west coasts, the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and parts of Alaska's northern Bering Sea. With a goal of conserving 30% of U.S. lands and waters by 2030, Biden stated, "It's not worth the risks." But of course, not everyone agrees. The American Petroleum Institute slammed the decision, calling it a threat to American energy security that needs to be reversed. At a recent press conference, Donald Trump, an advocate for the oil and gas industry, who's set to take office again in just a few weeks, announced he'll revoke Biden's offshore drilling ban on his first day in office. What we have is a brewing legal and political storm that's sure to shape America's energy future. Will Biden's ban hold, or will Trump end it? We'll move on to a unique story centered around the energy industry and space exploration. NASA and the Department of Energy have tapped Westinghouse to advance its space microreactor design under the Fission Surface Power Project. This initiative aims to create small nuclear reactors that provide reliable power for lunar and deep space missions. Building on earlier design work, Westinghouse will optimize its microreactor technology and begin testing critical components, targeting a lunar demonstration within the next decade. The project, part of NASA's Artemis mission, uses Westinghouse's Avinci microreactor to support sustainable energy solutions for Moon and Mars exploration. Before we move on to our next story, a quick word from our sponsor. This episode of the BIC Magazine Weekly Industry Report is brought to you by Draeger Rental and Safety Services. From daily operations to large turnaround and shutdown projects, partner with Draeger for smart technical solutions that protects, supports, and saves lives. To learn more, visit www.draeger.com. For our next story, Phillips 66 is strengthening its NGL sector with a $2.2 billion acquisition. The company has announced a definitive agreement to acquire EPIC Y-grade, including its natural gas liquids pipelines, fractionation facilities, and distribution systems. This move is set to enhance Phillips 66's Permian NGL value chain and provide flow assurance to producers, connecting key production basins to Gulf Coast markets. The deal includes 2 fractionators near Corpus Christi, 350 miles of pipelines, and an 885-mile NGL pipeline, with expansion plans to boost capacity further. Finally, we'll close today's show out with a new economic impact study from the Texas Port Association. According to the study, Texas ports are making waves, driving $713.9 billion in economic activity and supporting 2.5 million jobs statewide. Since 2018, tonnage handled by marine terminals surged by 130 million tons, fueling significant job growth and boosting the average annual salary of port workers from $67,611 to $81,845. With every $1 invested in Texas ports returning $53.46 to the state, ports remain a powerful economic multiplier. Cruise activity alone contributed $732.5 million in business revenue, while commercial and marina activity brought an additional $70.2 million. Leaders are calling for strategic investments to maintain Texas ports' competitive edge amid growing global infrastructure investments. And with that, we come to a close on this week's episode of the BIC Magazine Weekly Industry Report. You can head over to bicmagazine.com to read the full stories discussed today, and make sure to follow us on all of our social media channels so that you never miss out on the latest developments, updates, and announcements from the energy sector. Have a great day, and remember, it's what we do together that counts. Thank you again to Draeger Rental and Safety Services for sponsoring today's episode. Make sure to visit www.draeger.com to learn more about Draeger's smart safety solutions for your facility. When safety matters, rely on Draeger, technology for life.